Hey, she haven't contacted me back yet about your entry. I'm gonna go ahead and allow you to go into the unit, but I want you to know that this isn't an authorized entry. You should have been here yesterday. I did contact her. I'm waiting on her call, and that's all I'm letting you know. Do what you do from here on out. He is proceeding to enter the unit. I did allow him to know it's an unauthorized entry. Okay, he entered into the unit, even though he knew that this was an unauthorized entry. I'm gonna proceed to call the cops because I don't know what to do at this point. I have not received a message or a call. Hi, so it's 321 Iverness Avenue, Warner Robins, Georgia, 31093. Okay, so I received a notice from Warner Robins Housing Authority for specific dates and duties of the contractors that will be coming out to my unit. However, I have an electrician that just showed up, and he doesn't have a valid or authorized entry because the notice says that he should have showed up yesterday at 10 a.m., not today. So I did not receive a proper notice for him to be out here at the unit. I did let him know that the entry was unauthorized, and I did contact the property manager. She has not responded. He proceeded to go into the unit, and I'm not sure what I need to do on my behalf. I did, and she has not responded. I'm Stephanie Haywood. That's correct. I mean, I would like to type up a report. It's okay if they do come out because I want to file a police report. This is not an authorized entry. I did not receive a notice for the entry of this electrician for today.
Yeah, I'll get somebody out there to you. Okay, 321 Iverness.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
all they tell you. They'll break fighters. They did that. Stupid kid.
Hi, I called.
Well, hello. You know what? I need to give you a phone call. I actually need to give you a phone call about your burglary.
Okay.
Yeah, you came and reported a burglary to me the other day, didn't you?
Right.
And I need to get some video of you. How can I help you this morning?
Okay, so basically, I received a notice from Warner Robins Housing Authority, and this was for contractors to show up and fix the unit. But so it had specific date and specific duties for the contractors to show up and to complete certain tasks.
Right.
So the electrician is out today, but the notice is inaccurate. He was supposed to show up yesterday at 10 o'clock a.m. He did not show up, and he's here today. I contacted the property manager yesterday as well to let her know that he didn't show up yesterday. And I also contacted her today once I noticed that he was here. She has not returned my calls. There is a lot of bias going on in this office. They are sending me inaccurate notices for contractors to come fix the unit. My thing is, he's out here without a accurate notice, and that's violating my tenant rights.
Okay.
And if you want to see the notice, it's right here, but I would like to file a police report just so that I can have this situation documented properly.
Okay. So, in filing a police report, a crime or an intent of crime has to be committed.
Right.
This is not a crime. And there is no intent of a crime. Okay? Now, it's purely civil.
Right.
That's between you and the housing authority.
Okay, but legally, you guys can ask him to leave the premises since the notice is invalid, correct?
Who does the property belong to?
It belongs to housing authority, but I'm a tenant.
Yeah, but who sent him here?
Housing authority sent him out without a notice, without a proper 24 hours or 2-day notice.
I understand that. That's between you and the housing authority. If they are the owner of the property and repairs need to be carried out on the property, they have the authority to send people to carry out those repairs because
without a proper notice via my lease.
That's going to be how do I call it? Let me see the proper term I'm looking for. So with us, we have our course of conduct, right? And we have our I cannot remember the term I'm looking for. Where policies. Sorry, that's exactly what I'm looking for. We have our own policies that we adhere to.
So this isn't criminal trespass in your eyes with no notice?
No, ma'am. It's not criminal trespassing.
Okay.
They're not criminal trespassing. You see what I mean? Because they didn't turn up here off their own free will, willy-nilly trying to invade your privacy. They are workmen. You can't. I mean, I'm gonna be fair with you because I'm just a straightforward person, right? Just imagine you own some property. Those properties needs to be.
Well, they don't own it. They just work for HUD.
Yes.
So there's that.
Let
this
me
isn't
just-
their property.
Let me just get to the point, okay? Imagine you own some properties and you have contractors that goes to the properties to carry out maintenance, and you send your contractors to carry out those.
They have to
works.
do it properly, though, sir. That's in my lease.
Yeah, but that's not a police matter.
Right. I understand
It
that.
has to be.
But
as
I
it
was told to
relates
contact
them.
the authorities in case I had any concerns or in case
who
my rights were
advised you
being
that?
violated.
Who advised you that?
I have a parent and as well as a lawyer, attorney, cousin.
Yeah, so your lawyer, attorney, cousin should have known better than to tell you to call the police in a matter like this.
Should they?
They should have.
Without a proper notice.
They should have. They should know the difference between criminal and civil. If they have, I studied law,
But
I've got a law degree.
to
I know
ask
the
you
difference
a
between criminal
question, I
and
understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to go against what you're saying or anything like that. You're saying what you're saying. I do know that I still have rights as a
Yes, you
tenant.
do. Yes,
I
you
have
do.
rights as a tenant.
Absolutely.
And they're violating my rights. So that's why I called you. Make no mistake. That's
So-
why I called you.
So there's a difference between criminal and civil.
Right.
So this falls on the civil end, not the criminal end.
Okay, that's
And
enough. That's
you know,
enough
like the other
said.
day you come to me and you report your burglary.
Right.
That's criminal.
Right.
Now, if I caught that person on your property, not only that person would be arrested
Right.
because they attend your property and try to break in, but also they're trespassing.
Right. This is the same
You see what I mean?
situation.
But they're not breaking in.
They're not breaking in. However, it's an unauthorized entry. So,
No.
Again stated, my rights are being violated here. People are showing up. I don't know who they are. They're not on this notice.
So-
I tried to show you the notice.
You said that they're contractors. You just told me that.
Right. They are contractors, but certain specific contractors were supposed to come out via this notice. I don't know who this lady is right there that just came out here. She's not on here.
I understand, but who sent them here?
I haven't asked her. I've never spoken with her
You
before.
told me it's the housing authority that sent them here. That's the first
Housing
thing you told me
Authority
when I got here.
sent the people here that came in this truck and in this van. They have been out here fixing on this unit for 2 days now. Today would make the third day.
Where are their office?
Where is their office? The contractors?
No, the housing authority.
Housing Authority is at 112 Memorial Terrace.
Okay. Have you contacted them?
I have contacted
Is
them.
there anyone in office?
No one's called me back. I contacted them yesterday as well as today. I can make a visit to the office.
I mean, that would be.
Let me say this again. I just wanted to document this unauthorized entry. That's why I called you.
There is not one. There isn't one. In the eyes of the law, criminal law, there isn't an unauthorized entry.
Okay. In criminal law.
In criminal law. Okay? If you're not happy with them coming to your property, there is a civil way of dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
But you will have to go up to the magistrate court and you will have to explain to them what you've explained to me.
Right.
And then they will have to advise you whether or not it's something that they'll deal with in their court.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there are different ways how you can deal with things, but this is not criminal.
Okay.
Because I couldn't arrest them
Right.
for going in there, for being sent here.
I didn't want you to do any arresting.
I know,
No.
If it's not going to lead up, say for example, I say to them, you got to leave. And they goes, no. Where do I go from there?
Right.
Because I can't force them to leave.
Right.
Because they're not here unauthorized. They
Well,
were
to
sent
the
here
tenant,
and-
they're here unauthorized.
Yes, but
But
you're
okay.
the tenant, but not the owner.
Right.
There's a difference.
HUD is the owner.
You understand?
And HUD has a lease that I signed.
So you sign your lease.
Right.
Right. And what you would have to do
Go sit
is-
back in your seat.
And this is what I would advise you to do, to go through your lease.
I did.
Right? Make sure, or have your cousin, which is a lawyer, go through your lease
We did.
and see if the lease have been broken by the housing authority. And then you can go to civil court.
It has.
Sort it out civilly.
It has been broken. That's why I
Understand?
called.
But you're not going to get a police report for this.
Okay.
There is not going to be a police report. It's civil.
Okay. Understood. Thank
Okay.
you.
If you're not happy with the decision which I've made, you can speak to a supervisor. I'm happy for you to talk to one.
Right.
Okay? And you can tell them that Officer Orr, that's my name right there,
Okay.
came out here, and this is what Officer Orr said. I'm recording for my safety and for your safety. And
Right. My
everything which I
apartment
said.
is under 24-hour surveillance as well, just to
I
let you know.
Because obviously you've got some footage I need too for your to circulate that image which you showed me
Right.
for that burglary.
I
So-
showed another officer.
Mm.
I called the police again the very next day that I saw the person walking. So he actually got footage
Oh, so you
and
gave it to
pictures.
them?
Yes, I did.
Did you give them the case number it was reported?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so they okay.
Yeah.
Because I
He tried to contact you the same day. We were standing there together.
oh no, they should have I was off because
I don't have anything to do with that. I just know that we already took care of it. The person was found and things were
so he's been
handled.
arrested.
I suppose so. They found her.
Oh, it was a her.
Yeah, it was a her. They didn't communicate that with you?
No.
Wow, you guys got to do
Because
better in Warner Robins.
No. I mean, if it's been taken care of, it's been updated on the report, but the report would have already been gone off to a secondary investigator. Because I'm
Okay.
the primary investigator, but I've done everything I could, gather the information, gather all your details and the details of what you said to me. Now, additionally, what I have put in that report, that you have some footage that I would like to collect. But if someone else collected that, they just help me out.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm happy. I'm happy that they get caught and so on and so forth, because I was intending on calling you today. I was just waiting until it.
Yeah, when you didn't call me the first day you said you was going to call, I was like, okay. Just so happened the next morning, I seen the same lady I saw on my porch called the cops.
Literally, that evening after you left, it started raining, but the calls didn't stop. So I didn't get a break, and by the time I finished, I thought you may have been your family time, and I'm not the type of person to just call people within their family time. You see what I mean? So the next day I was off. Yesterday I was on the west side, today I'm here, and I was so happy to be around the corner when you called. So I would have gotten to you today, because I've actually said to another officer, I need to come and see you today to get those footages and circulate to them, because I actually wanted to do that job start to finish, but someone else took it.
Right.
But as it relates to your complaint, okay, I do appreciate what you're saying, and I understand completely what you're saying, but there is nothing criminal
that you can do about it, and I totally understand that. I only called to seek advice.
If there is anything criminal that I report, I've got a book in my pocket. I've got your details. I'll go on and I'll give you a case number, and
I actually already put a case in court for the property manager, so I've already done the warrant application and everything, because this has been going on for a while.
Right.
So my rights have been violated, and I'm afraid for my life. People are breaking into trying to break into the unit. They won't transfer me for my safety. Yes, I'm talking about housing authority. It's a lot of bias going on towards me, and I feel it. It's affecting me and my children, and so I just wanted to seek advice today, or ask if this was, criminal trespassing. To my knowledge and to my rights, I've already read my lease. It does state that I have to have a 2-day prior notice for them to be able to enter the unit.
An agreement that they've broken.
Right. They've broken that agreement only. Now they haven't done anything criminal. They haven't said anything criminal. It was nothing like that. I just wanted to be I was told by my cousin, like I said, she's an attorney. She told me to just call the police and see if I could document this. If it didn't work out that way, that's fine, but I would still have in your system that I called you guys to let you know.
Every time you call us, there's a history that's been done.
Right, I understand that too.
And I can go on there right now, and I can probably check in that history and see how many times you've called us.
Right.
And it will show that, and it will also show who responded to your call.
Right.
Or, the case number that you generate with me. It's still on our system. Those things, they don't go away.
Right.
They don't just disappear after you leave.
I understand.
You see what I mean? Whether you get a case number or not, it shows that you've contacted us.
Right.
A log is still being created.
Right.
You understand what I mean? But as it relates to your cousin, I don't know what branch of law she studied, because the law is it comes down to 3 letters. LAW, law, right? And the study thereof. But when you divulge into it, there are all different branches to it.
Right.
You have law right here, and then you have a series of different laws under it.
Right. And I understand
because you have criminal, you have civil, and then you have marriage and probate and wills and a whole bunch of it.
Right.
Tort laws and so on and so forth. You see what I mean? So the 2 main branches under it is either civil or criminal. Is it civil or is it criminal?
Right.
And then on the criminal, you've got different criminal laws, and then you've got different civil laws.
Right.
You see what I mean? Like what you were explaining to me between you and the housing.
Right.
As long as anything doesn't happen physically or no one hadn't been threatened.
Right.
If you go to the threat aspect of things, then that becomes criminal.
Right.
It's no longer civil. It started out civil, but it ended up criminal.
Right.
So it can go from civil to criminal.
Yes, sir.
But you can't go from criminal to civil.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So that's the way it works. In this case, I'll be happy to give you a report if I could, but unfortunately, there's nothing on my system that I could use to say, all right, then I can fit it in this category.
Right.
It's civil.
Right. And I understand that.
I mean? And I hope you and them can sort things out, because you know you've got children and
Right.
you know.
It's to the point now where I don't think it's any sorting out. I'm trying to move because that's gonna be the best bet. The thing about it is when I try to move, they retaliate. So they're writing references, calling me and my children goons, saying that we're causing problems in the neighborhood, saying that, you know, whatever they can say. And I actually have a reference sheet that the landlord filled out calling me and my kids goons. And he's not a property manager anymore. He's now a public director of housing authority. So you see what I'm saying? It seems like they're getting promoted for being biased towards me. They're collaborating with the Job Plus program. And I have been demanded to leave this unit within 24 hours and etc. So I wanted to just document that they actually...
So you have to leave within 24 hours?
Right. I've received those notices of that nature and of that matter. So that's what I'm stating.
Is this recent or in the past?
It was recent. Well, it was 2024, so I'm gonna say past.
Okay. So, I mean, I understand that you've got these ongoing things, and sometimes the best way to resolve these issues is to be reasonable.
Right.
Right. And I'm not saying that you're not being reasonable.
Right. Because I have.
You are reasonable. You have to continue to be reasonable.
Right.
Because a lot of times when you take things to court, one of the main things that they look on is how reasonable a person was in the circumstances of the event.
Right.
You understand what I mean? I don't know how the housing authority works. I don't know how any of that stuff works.
Right.
You understand what I mean? But if there is a leeway where you can kind of like have some sort of conversation, and if it doesn't work with one person, try somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Try and go down that route for the benefit of your children.
Right.
You understand what I mean? So hopefully things work out between you and them for the benefit of your kids and your family and a whole, right?
Well, the public director just showed up, and he's not on the authorized notice either. So it's ongoing, which is why I called to kind of see where, you know, I could go with things. But I do understand what you're saying. Nothing is criminal. So I totally get that it's civil, and this is something that I'll just be discussing with the judge in court with the via filed warrant application that I filled out.
If it means that you need to make a diary entry of some sort, I don't know, maybe that's something you need to do.
Right.
Saying that, hey, I called police on the day and this is what I was told by Officer Orr who attended.
Right.
If the judge wanted to speak to me about this conversation, I'm more than happy to go to court to say this is what I said to her.
Yes, sir.
I told her it was civil, and these are the reasons why I told her it was civil and it wasn't criminal.
Okay.
And then, you know, if I need to get a bit of heat on my back, I'll take it.
Okay.
Okay. So, is there anything else we can help you with today?
No, that's it. The only thing else you stated was that you needed the footage from the burglary that happened here.
Yeah.
And I provided that to that officer. He actually took pictures off of his own phone, you know, via my phone and etc. Said they were going to file the warrant application, and that was that. He told me he had everything he needed and I could go ahead and go.
Which means that they must have caught the person, because in order
They did. They caught her.
So
A police made contact with her, and then it was a police that made contact with me. Okay. So they were talking to her while they were talking to me, if that makes sense.
All right, yes.
Yeah, so.
I'm happy that it works out.
Yes, sir.
So if you need us, feel free to call us back. Okay?
No problem.
If you need us, all right? I always encourage people to call the police if they need the police.
Right.
All right. So.
Well, thank you for coming out, and thank you for the information.
Right. Not a problem, and I hope things work out for you.
Yes, sir.
Have a great day.
You too.
All right.
This is Miss Keisha Bray. She showed up to the unit today. Right outside my unit. She's an assistant of Miss Africa Porter, by the way. And this is Mr. Robert Gidney. Oh, you ain't a seatbelt. Okay. So I'm gonna just kind of sit here, y'all, until they leave, and that'll be that. That's the end of this video. Or not. Hi.
Do you want our contractor to
Continue.
Give me my phone. He already went in. I just let him know that it was an unauthorized entry because the notice was very specific. I'm fine with them going ahead and completing the job. I just wanted to document that it was an unauthorized entry. That's it. Yes, sir. But they're fine. I'm about to leave. Do you need anything else from me? Okay. Have a good day. And this is Miss Bray, Miss Keisha Bray. And that's Mr. Robert Gidney. And that's them talking to the police officer. And that is that. She's an assistant. So I really don't know, what was her purpose for showing up. But, yeah, y'all know I'm just documenting. That's it. They acting like I'm not obligated to call the cops. Get in your seatbelt, please. Get in the seatbelt. We're about to go. I'm going to keep this video recording, y'all, because I'm not sure what they actually have going on. But they did show up. And again, that is Miss Keisha Bray and that is Mr. Robert Gidney with the Warner Robins Housing Authority. I did not call them or make them aware that I called the police to ask for information or documentation. So I'm just documenting this socialization as well because this was my police call. You guys, I'm really afraid for my life. Like, I've never seen nothing like this in my life. My tenant rights are being violated and they're popping up without a notice. Anyway. So, but the cop is leaving and they are leaving. Put your arms in, baby. And so that is that. And the officer is parked behind me. And y'all know I'm recording for documentation purposes. Come on, baby. I did tell Mr. Gidney that the contractor can go ahead and stay, being that he came out and went on in, even though I told him that, it wasn't an authorized entry. Oh, scoot up, baby. So there's that, you guys. Pretty sure. All right, y'all. Look, they're getting in the car together, you guys. Can't miss the video. So they're getting in the car together. And I'm just documenting this for documentation purposes only. So Mr. Gidney actually went in and Miss Keisha Bray just stood across the street talking to the cop that I called. She's an assistant of Miss Africa Porter. I'm not sure who made them aware that I contacted the cops, but I had already let the contractors into the unit, so it was no need for their presence at my unit. So this is just me recording for documentation purposes. Again, I am Stephanie Haywood with, I'm a tenant with Warner Robins Housing Authority at 321 Iverness Avenue, Warner Robins, Georgia, 31093. Today is